here we go. Back again. Alright? And today it is the return of Meme of the Week. And this is, would you believe it? This is the 17th episode of Meme of the Week. So we've had quite a few over the period, and yeah, it will continue. And I can confirm that we do indeed have a winner, alright? And it was again by a ball here, or in Scotland, a ball here, alright? And this was our 5 contenders. And once again, yeah, all pretty good. And the winner was, yep, number 1. Of course, it was number 1. And this was a classic meme. And it is the daughter and mother baking in the kitchen, not cooking, right? And the daughter asks, why are so many people really sad? And the mother replies, we're living in a fake environment with fake food, fake news, fake people, and it's slowly poisoning our souls, right? And yeah, it's quite funny, but it's certainly true. That is for sure. And as much as it sort of makes me laugh, it only makes me laugh because it is so true, right? And that's why it probably won, because yeah, it's a classic meme. Because let's face it, it is absolutely bang on the fucking money, because our souls are being destroyed. And yeah, a lot of people are sad for sure. If you didn't know, if you don't get out much, then yeah, a lot of people, they have fucking had it. They are up to their neck with the fucking constant deception from our governments. And it just grinds you right down and completely destroys you. I was speaking to someone the other day, and for years now, I feel like I have been banging my head against a wall and trying to warn or trying to wake people up. And here we are, living a fucking 1984 tyranny, and still people can't, well, certain people can't fucking see. I mean, what will it take? What would it take? But then again, is it because not only are they slowly destroying our souls, but they are attacking us from each and every fucking corner. And in terms of people being sad, all you have to do is get out and see. In terms of depression, if you want to call it that, this thing they call depression, where people get really sad and down in the dumps, I'm sure that you know of it. But of course, depression, like many other things, is a problem that they have created. And it is on the increase. Ain't that a fucking surprise? And if we go to these guys here, these guys obviously are Science Daily. And yeah, the headline is, major depressive episodes far more common than previously believed. And yep, depression, it has the fucking syndrome. What a fucking surprise, right? And it would of course be in Science Daily, who are of course the done previously fought champions, right? If you haven't seen it, then yeah, check it out. And in terms of depression having the syndrome, well, if we go back to 2017, depression may start much earlier than previously thought. 10th of December 2017. And now here we are in 2020, and it's worse than they thought again. So yeah, it seriously does have the fucking syndrome. And another dead giveaway in terms of something that they have created and then manipulate is if it's pushed by these dudes. And this is, of course, the WHO. the World Health Organization, right? So they control the health for the world. Fantastic, right? And as you can see, it says 264 million people even worldwide seemingly have depression. And I kind of read that backwards, but there you go. But what I want to point out from this is that they say, as you can see at the bottom line, it is characterized by persistent sadness, right? And that word, characterized, they use that quite a lot, the WHO. They even used it with the fucking pandemic, right? So you can say it is or you can say it's not, right? That's what that basically means. But of course, in terms of the pandemic, it's fucking not, right? And but what is a real fucking pandemic is the suicide rates, right? And in terms of depression and sadness, unfortunately, that is just the fucking beginning, right? Because it gets a lot worse than that, all jokes aside. And in terms of suicide, as we do know, the fucking suicide rate has skyrocketed at the moment because of course, the fucking scamdemic, right? And it's been too much for a lot of people. And I have myself, unfortunately, lost some close friends through suicide, and it is not nice, and it destroys families. It is a terrible, terrible thing. It really is. And as you can see, this is from Luton Today, and it was out this 21st of September. Male suicide rate increases in Luton, right? But yeah, it ain't just fucking Luton. Unfortunately, it doesn't end there. It is right across the UK due to the pandemic. As you can see, ITV News 3 weeks ago, male suicide rate highest in 20 years in worrying trend. Right, so the suicide rate in males in the UK is basically the highest it's ever fucking been. And not only that, it is getting higher. And I kid you not, it will not fucking stop anytime soon. Until we make a stand against this tyranny, and until people learn better how to cope, which is, of course, easier said than done, because, of course, it's all down to the individual. So, yeah, I know that it can get hard, but we really do have to dig deep for that fight that is in us, that warrior gene. I actually remember a few years ago the media going on about the warrior gene, and I wonder if these tests, the DNA, are to find the warriors and fucking wipe them out. That wouldn't surprise me, because as crazy as it sounds, an alpha male kill-off is what they do. That's part of what they fucking do. The fucking Rockefellers and the people behind the pandemic. That's what the World War I and World War II, that's what that was about as well. But as always, they kill a lot more than two birds with one stone, and they win in more ways than one. And the only fucking losers when it comes to war is us. Humanity. Humanity is the fucking loser. And the people behind the guidestones, well, they're the fucking winners. Of course, yeah, it's all written in stone, innit? And in terms of suicide, it's not just the UK, it is right across the fucking world. And I kid you not, I cannot stress enough how bad it fucking is. And I know it's depressing to even think about it, but it has to be said. It fucking has to be said. I'm not dancing around it. It is terrible. And I wanted to point this out from Yahoo Finance. In the midst of the worst pandemic in a century, depression, isolation and suicides have all increased dramatically. So we now have it in black and white in the fucking media. But of course, for months, we have seen this coming. We knew it all along. Let's face it. It then continues. Billions of people across the world have had to go into lockdowns to avoid the spread of COVID-19 bullshit, which at the time of this article had already resulted in nearly 30 million cases and over 940,000 deaths. Yeah, sure it did. People weren't allowed to go out for anything except for absolute necessities, and this continued for several months and still is in place for some countries. Yeah, I think for just about fucking every country. Because let's face it, in fact, we've never got out of lockdown here in Scotland. And we're already, probably today, as I speak, going back into fucking lockdown. And we will touch on that in a sec. But it then says, humans are social animals, and most people are not suited for long periods of isolation. It's why solitary confinement in jails is now considered a cruel and unusual punishment, and even likened to torture, as we have been forced to isolate and been unable to interact with people in person. It has led to significantly higher depression rates, self-harm, and eventually suicide, including in the US, right? And yeah, it's right across the world. UK, US, Africa, China, Australia, you fucking name it. It is fucking terrible, terrible stuff. But yeah, what a surprise that lockdowns and isolation, basically lockdowns, let's face it, it's likened to likened even to torture. Ain't that a fucking surprise, right? That's what it is. Let's face it, we have been under a form of psychological torture with this pandemic, or as the World Economic Forum called it, experiment, right? And of course, like I did say, and we have touched on, we are under attack constantly from every fucking angle. And yeah, go outside and look up. It's in the fucking air everywhere. And since birth, like we've touched on before, we are drinking. Babies today, the modern baby is basically raised on fucking powder milk. And the plastic bottles even are bad enough. But the powdered milk is also dangerous stuff. So since birth, we are under attack in terms of our health and fucking well-being, right? And it doesn't end there throughout our life, of course, because the food that they give us is fucking terrible. And let's face it, we have touched on it before, it is fucking toxic. And of course it has created problems like diabetes. So they have created these conditions. But of course, they don't just create the problem, they create the fucking solution, right? But it is no solution. It is just another fucking problem for us, that is, of course. And in terms of pharmaceutical medications, and I know that in America it is really, really fucking bad. But I remember here in Scotland, when I was in Dundee with my dad, he used to stay in Dundee. He's originally from Glasgow, my late father, but he also stayed in Dundee and up here in good old Elgin, where I was eventually born. Right, but I remember being with my dad, who was Alcoholics Anonymous, like chairman. He used to chair meetings for alcoholics recovering, because he was one himself. He was ended up sober for about from about 35, I think, right until he passed away. He didn't touch a drink, but before that was a raging alcoholic. But I remember, yeah, he used to chair meetings and would help people out and would ask me if I wanted to go for a run in the car, and I'd be like, yeah, okay. But little did I know it would be to some fucking Jakey's house, and my dad would be there trying to help these people. He really was an absolute hero for a lot of people. But yeah, I'd be sitting in the car thinking, yeah, my dad is absolutely fucking crazy, right? And this is the last run I will be going on. But yeah, I always remember actually being in a house, if I can get to the point, with my dad and this lady that he was helping. And she had a full carrier shopping bag full of medication. And she was never out of this bag. And she had all her dates and times marked down. And all she did was spend most of her day looking out what fucking medication she was going to take. And at a young age, I remember thinking, what kind of life is this? It was a bit of a shock to me because Dundee is quite a big city and where I stay is just a small wee town, and we sure do have our problems. But in terms of seeing that, that was a first for me, and it opened my eyes a wee bit. But of course the medication was only killing the poor lady. I don't know where she is today, but I don't imagine she's still here. God rest her if she is gone. Maybe she is, right? Maybe she is still here. Who would know? But anyway, moving on from that, but sticking with how we are constantly under attack is, of course, vaccines. Now, vaccines have been getting distributed for fucking decades, and the effects of them we probably will truly never know. But I would imagine that the true effects on humanity from vaccines would be fucking eye-watering. Right, it really fucking would. And vaccines is certainly something that I would say no. Approach with caution, right? They can take this down. I honestly don't care. But yeah, vaccines, like we have said, are really, really fucking dangerous. And yeah, it's basically Russian roulette. And I do believe that a second AstraZeneca trialist has fell ill. So there you go. There's your results again to the vaccine. It doesn't fucking work, right? But this is, of course, meme of the week, right? So with the winner now out the way and all the fucking depressive stuff. But hey, all jokes aside, that really had to be said. And the only thing I really can advise is that we try our hardest to look out for each other more and to be a bit more accepting of each other. And if you are feeling really down, then my heart goes out to you. But try something, dig deep, try and help someone that could make you feel 10 times better. Go out and help in the community. Try and bring your community together and fight against fucking the pandemic. Right, my best friend and best man at my wedding, my friend Ryan, he's not on Facebook, but he always says he prefers face value over Facebook. And that is bang fucking on, right? Stick to socialising with people rather than online, right? And go and do what you need to do. Don't feel isolated. You are not alone, right? But hey, I am no expert, and I know for sure that times can be hard. But like I said, try your best to dig deep for that strength, right? And always remember that tomorrow is a new day, right? And we can begin again, right? For sure. And this is, of course, like I said, meme of the week, which of course kind of writes itself. Like the syndrome will stop when the deception stops. And the winner of the meme is then basically the focus of the next video. So yeah, it kind of writes itself. All I have to do is find 5 memes, which is not very hard. There are lots of good memes out there. But with that said, this is this week's top 5, right? Are you ready? Good. This is number 1, and it says, "We have been lied to since birth by our government, our churches, our media, our history books, and our schools." Truth, right? Yep, bang on. The fucking money, that one. Number 2, "I hate my government, but I live too comfortably to get motivated enough to do anything about it." And it's a woman crying. And I would imagine that you have came across many people like this. But of course, everyone knows that the government is corrupt. But the question is, are they willing to do something about it? Right, and this is number 3. And it's, yeah, self-explanatory, really. Information, knowledge, and yeah, join the dots and you will get the fucking answers. Great meme, that one. And this is number 4. When your friend asks you, who are you voting for? But you already know that presidents are selected, not elected. Damn fucking straight. And that one is an absolute classic. And this is number 5. And it is Aldous Huxley, or Oxley, whatever you call him. Freemason, of course. "The perfect dictatorship would have the appearance of a democracy, but would basically be a prison without walls, in which the prisoners would not even dream of escaping. It would essentially be a system of slavery where, through consumption and entertainment, the slaves would love their servitudes." Now, doesn't that sound fucking familiar? Right? I bet it fucking does. And of course, Mr. Huxley, he knew the fucking score alright. Because like our good friend Eric, or George Orwell if you like, yeah, Freemasons, of course they knew the fucking script. And speaking of slavery and a tyranny, well, yeah, Saint fucking Nick here in Scotland, our First Minister, like I keep saying, she is once again proving her worth as a Rockefeller fucking lapdog. And in terms of lockdowns in Scotland, like I said at the start, I'm currently making this video and I'm expecting Scotland to go back into lockdown today. As you can see, that came out last night. The measures were revealed in a leaked document. Right, sure, it's funny how they always have these leaked documents, right? It is basically conditioning in action. That's what, when they leak stuff, that's you being conditioned. And then it comes out later on, but you're more accepting to it. That's basically what it is. But to continue on, it was marked official sensitive. Wow. I wonder how long it took them to think of that name, right? Which also shows the Scottish Government could issue a general message, right, that people should again stay at home except for essential shopping. So yeah, it's fucking lockdown again, right? It continues. Nicola Sturgeon, the First Minister, confirmed she knew about the document, a computer screen image circulated on Twitter, right, and did not deny it was authentic. Ain't that a surprise? She said her government was considering a range of measures, some of which would go live even this week, and others at a later date. Right, so again, being conditioned, they ain't gonna cut you in two with an axe, but instead gonna stab you with a fucking knife, a wee knife, gradually, and you'll fucking bleed to death that way. And yeah, it's slightly graphic, but let's face it, that's what it is. It's a fucking tyranny, and they are slowly but surely strangling the life out of humanity. And this is the fucking document here that got leaked. And yeah, it's basically another full-scale lockdown where they close everything and you're not allowed out unless it's for essentials, right? But of course, if the cases and the COVID continues to rise, what happens then? Right? How do we fix it then? Because like the WHO have said, the virus is here to stay. Right? So yeah, as you can see, care homes again are going to be hit badly. You ain't going to get to see anybody that's in a care home. And it really does. It breaks my fucking heart to even look at things like that. I honestly come on here. Sometimes I think I'm dreaming when I read some of the stuff. It is so fucking staggering. But fortunately, people are fucking questioning what is going on. As you can see, utter lunacy. So after the so-called circuit breaker, restrictions are then lifted. What do we do next? The virus will still be around and we'll just start the same damaging cycle all over again. Right. So yeah, as you can see, someone is beginning to ask questions, but they obviously don't understand. But that is the fucking plan, because we are never going to get out of lockdown in Scotland, that is for sure. For as long as this fucking dude here, Nicola, not Bill, not Jill, right? As long as Saint Nick is at the helm and the Rockefellers are funding Scotland, yeah, we will be living under a full-scale fucking tyranny. And yeah, Nicola is best friends with Bill Gates. And in terms of funds, you don't have to look very far. Actually, I would be here for about another fucking half an hour, an hour even, going through all the links in terms of money between Bill Gates, the Rockefellers, and Scotland, right? It is there for sure. And in terms of the UK, Sky News are saying that we are now in level 4. Dun, dun, dun. So yeah, run to the hills, grab your fucking sanitizer and your fucking toilet roll, because yeah, it's going to be lockdown time. And yeah, all jokes aside, it really is time that we found a way to fucking convict, if you like, these people that are behind the pandemic, right? And in terms of lockdown, get your community together. Fucking say no. Say no, we need the fucking shop open. And in terms of businesses, get the business communities together locally, right? Forget about the fucking rest of the world for the time being, right? Think locally, right? No, sorry, if I can get this right. Act locally, but think globally, right? Help out fucking at home in your community first, and then think about helping out fucking someone else, right? All things start at home. You get your own home, your own house even, in order first, and then you help out other people, right? When you, of course, can, right? Because, hey, you've got to look after number one. But yeah, it is high time we convicted the fucking criminals that are evidently behind the fucking pandemic. And I think you know exactly who I'm talking about, right? And on that note, that is it for this week's Meme of the Week. And of course, like always, just put the number you want to win in the comment section, and I will calculate a winner when I get a chance, hopefully next week, right? Usually on the weekend, but hey, you just never know. And that is life, but not as we know it, right? But yeah, that is it. I will be back very soon with the unpreviously fought syndrome, because the deception continues. Ain't that a fucking surprise, right? Anyway, that is about it. Bye-bye.